Jimbo's Garage.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Jimbo's Garage. Well, today's video we're going to be making a soils probe. Not just one, 24, 24. A friend of mine has a local geotechnical engineering firm here in town, and he asked me if I could help him make these probes. Now, apparently there's an ASTM standard and specifications for these particular probes. The handles need to be 14 inches long and 1 inch OD outside diameter. The stems are 1/2 inch in diameter, 38 inches long. And then he's going to want a company logo, the letter H, attached to the handle area. So let me show you how we're going to build these things. Let's get started. All right, so we're starting out with some 1 inch diameter cold rolled 120 wall, which is 1/8 of an inch thick wall material. I'm cutting them at 14 inches right here, so just using the fine slugger. That works out really good for this. And got all 24 of them cut, and then I went right to the 1/2 inch solid cold roll. And I actually came a little short with the material, but I'll pick that up the next day. But basically, that's the way it turned out there. And then I just rounded over the edges a little bit, just to take off all the burrs that might have been on them with a belt sander. And got that done. All the handles are complete, and I'm just a little short with the stems there. Anyways, I took it over to the mill. I'm pretty excited about this this mill. I'm actually using the new collet, if you will, or the adapter that I made for my chuck on the mill, and this thing works out really good. You know, once you just get the mill adjusted properly, it's just a matter of putting the piece in the vise, tightening it up, and then milling it down. Actually worked out really good for this. A really fast process, especially on round tube. It's a little bit difficult to drill round tube, but I didn't even use a center punch on this. It's just I just marked it, clamped it in, and just drilled right through it. Pretty cool. I'm really excited about the new mill. Then I went over to the lathe, and my chuck happens to be big enough that I was able to slide that 1/2 inch stem all the way through. You can see it sticking out the back side right there. And now there's all kinds of different ways I tried to cut the point on this thing. You can see this is one way right here. It actually worked pretty good. Took a little bit long. It took about 4 minutes to do each one this way. But the more I did, I found an easier way to do it. And this is what I ended up with. I ended up taking the tool and setting the tool at the angle that I needed to cut the point, and then it just took like 1/4 of an inch bite at a time, and just ran it straight in, and that actually, you can see that worked out really good right there. Here's another angle of the same thing. So by doing it this way, I cut the time in half. It was about 2 minutes for each one of these. But you know what? It took me, most of the way through to figure it out. But hey, all in all, I had a lot of fun learning on the lathe as well. So from there, I just took them over to the belt sander, and you can see that there's a little bit of discoloration from the lathe, and I just wanted to, run it through the belt sander to give it a nice, smooth texture look to it, and and maybe just get a little bit more of a point on there. You can see better with this next one right here. This one here has got a little bit discoloration here on the end. You can see it doesn't take very much. It's very lightly spinned it, and that shines it up really nice. Takes that discoloration off. Well, I did that to all 24 of them, and it took a little bit of time, but it was a good learning experience on the lathe and the mill, and it's just a fun little project. There they all are. Everything's nice and cut and drilled and cleaned and ready to fabricate. So I was thinking of a good way, because there's so many of them, that I wanted to be fast and accurate with them, and so I created this little jig. More on that later, but that worked out really good for me. I was able to just clamp them in place and actually spin the base around to get my welds. It actually worked out pretty good. So I'm just TIG welding this together. I'm just using 2% lanthanated tungsten with some 16-inch filler rod. And about, I don't know, 3 or 4 days earlier to this, the high frequency on my welder went out on me. So I'm solely relying on lift start. Now that's something that I'm not really used to, because you know, the high frequency is really nice feature to have. So I struggled a little bit in this last few videos. You may see that, but anyways, that we're getting that thing fixed, and it'll be okay. But I didn't have any choice for this. You can see right here, right down to the very end of my filler wire, and you know, trying to make it happen. And that's the other thing, when you're doing a lot of lift start, at least when I'm doing it, the tungsten just gets ruined really quick because you're constantly making contact with the material. But I just gave up at this point right here, and went to resharpen the tungsten. Got her all done, sharpened up, got some more filler rod, and here we go. And just going around here. You know, it's amazing once you get used to doing something. And like I said, I had 24 of these pieces to do. It took maybe 6 or 7 or 8 pieces to figure out the simplest method, the easiest method, and the shortest method. But gosh, it just seems like right by the time you get it all done, it's over with. And this is the Everlast Power TIG 210 EXT, and you can see I'm running about 134 volts here with this thing. And this is the one with the high freak that went out. We're going to get that all fixed up here pretty soon. And I'm just continuing the process right here. I found the simplest way, the easiest way, and you know, just going through here. It actually goes fairly quick once I got rolling right here. Here's just a couple of the finished welds. You know, I got a new camera, and it's got autofocus on it, and I'm still trying to figure out, get used to that. My other camera was manual focus. This thing's auto, and you can see by what it has a tendency to focus on what's nearest in front of it, and this is it's just something I got to get used to here. But anyways, a few of the welds, that's what they look like. And I'm using the Black Stallion lightweight welding jacket right here. This is a great jacket for summertime use. I like the pencil and marker holder in the sleeve there. Okay, so we're about finishing up the probe project, and I just got to talk a little bit about this little jig that I made to do all these probes. You know, when you're fabricating and making a lot of a certain item, it's always nice to try to figure out a way that's going to make your job easier and faster. And that's what I tried to do with these probes. You know, I first tried to do them by itself, sticking them in there, trying to get them level, trying to get them plumb, and do the welding. I found it being kind of difficult. So, with just a few minutes of thinking, I came up with this little device right here, and I'm telling you, it made my job a lot easier and a lot faster. I was actually able to weld all 24 of these in about 45 minutes. Each one of them probably around a couple of minutes apiece. And that's how important it is to have a jig to make your job a lot easier and faster. Pretty cool. And I'm going to hang on to this thing because I have a feeling there'll be a lot more of these things to come down the road. Alright, so I got back from the metal supply store earlier today, and you know, I had them cut out these letters. This is the final touch it's going to take to put on the probes. They did want them personalized, and so there are 24 of these 1/8 inch thick H's, and I'm telling you, that was quite a process to see those things cut them out. Literally took probably 2 minutes for them to cut all these out, and could you imagine doing that by hand? But anyways, this is it. The last step, the probes. Let's get them welded on. All right, so I'm just cutting off the jig right there, and that's the beauty of having a welding table. You know, just a couple little tacks right there, cut that thing off, and then just a flap disc to grind your welds flat, and the table is perfectly flat and like new, and like nothing ever happened. That's pretty cool. So I was trying to figure out all kinds of different ways to put these H's on. You can see I got my third hand right there holding them in place, and I did that for the first 4 or 5 of them until I figured out that, hey, I don't really need this. I can actually hold them there with my hand, and that actually was much faster and worked just as good. So this process didn't take very long at all. You know, it was really just 2 little tacks on each one of them, and there they all are. Got them all done, just a matter of a few minutes, and I had them all done. Turned out pretty good. I'm pretty proud of those things. So the last step was to get some safety yellow paint on them, and there they are, complete. Turned out really good. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe for more videos.